Hi everyone, Annette Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you how to make a spinner card that can also be a photo display because you have little squares turning and twisting and swinging, and you can add photos on them. So I'm also going to show you how to use this Tim Holtz transparent ruler, which is really easy to use because instead of measuring what you need, you simply align the transparent ruler with the edge of your piece and then draw the line that you need. For example, we need 3/4 of an inch, so we just see where the 3/4 of an inch line is. 1, 2, 3. And then we align that with the edge of our piece and draw the line. So I'm going to put a link for this ruler for you if you want it. It's really fun to work with. So we're going to mark 3/4 of an inch and draw a line on all 3 edges of our piece. You have all the measurements in the link in the description under the video as usual. And then we're also going to measure 4 3/4 from the bottom. So we're going to align the piece with the 0 and then draw a line on the 4 3/4. And again, you have all the measurements for this project in the link in the description under the video that you can go ahead and download it from there. So I'm going to mark it and draw the line. Then it's also easy to make straight lines because you align the lines on the ruler with the lines of your shape, so you never go wrong. Okay, so now we're going to cut away that inner square that we did, and I like to use a craft knife for this. It's much more accurate than using a trimmer. And then let's make the final cut and remove that. Don't throw that away, we're going to use this later. So now you have our first piece, and you have to make 5 more. So altogether we need 6 pieces exactly the same. This is going to be the base of our spinner card. Next, we're going to take all those squares that we cut from the inside and cut them to size. Again, you have all the measurements in the link in the description under the video. Just go ahead, click the link, and download all the measurements. So again, you need 6 squares for that too. Now we're going to add our twine. This is the mechanism that is going to make our squares spin. So I'm just taking a little bit of tape, aligning the twine in the center of the window and securing it with the tape on both ends. Don't worry, it won't show because we're going to hide it with another piece of the cardstock. So basically we're sandwiching the twine in between 2 pieces of the black cardstock. So we're going to put the twine on 3 of the 6 pieces that we have, aligning it with the center and securing it with the tape. You can measure where the center is. I'm just going to eyeball it. If you want, you can measure exactly where the center is. And then the last piece. And you can use whatever twine you have. It doesn't matter what color it is. Try not to make it too thick so it won't be too bulky, and it will be easy for the piece of cardstock that we'll put on it to turn. Now we're going to apply glue all around our cardstock. Make sure you reach all the edges because we need it to be really glued well together. And for this I'm using liquid glue. I think it will hold it much better, give it more strength than double-sided tape. but if you don't like liquid glue, you can use double-sided tape. And then we're going to add another piece on top and make our sandwich with the twine in between. Make sure both pieces are aligned perfectly together, and you repeat that with the other pieces, and so you'll have 3 windows. Next, we're going to attach our spinning mats. Just apply glue to one square. Again, you have all the measurements in the link in the description under the video. You align it with the window and attach another square on top of it, aligning it perfectly with the edges of the window and with the other square. And now you see how it twists and turns really cool. And then you add all your windows the same way, all your spinning pieces to the windows the same way. Next, we're going to make our cover papers. We're going to cut them the same way as we did with the black cardstock, but this time we're going to draw our line 5/8 from the edge. So 5/8 of an inch on 3 sides, and then from the bottom again we need to measure 4 3/4. That stays the same. So mark the line, cut it, draw it, and then cut it out like we did with our black cardstock. So use a craft knife with the ruler, and then you can cut that out. And the best thing is to use double-sided cardstock, because then all your papers will match in color and pattern. But you can also use whatever papers you have in your stash, and you decide if you want them to be solid color or pattern. And then, like with the black cardstock, you take the inside of the piece that you cut and cut it to size. Again, you have all the measurements in the link in the description under the video, and you need 6 pieces of each of the shapes because we need to cover both sides of the card. So start with covering either the windows or the outside. I'm changing my pattern and solid color so it will be more interesting. Of course, it's up to you what colors you want to use, what patterns you want to use. Basically, you get the idea. So I'm going to align three of them together to see how to match the patterns and the colors. So just cover everything on both sides. Make sure that you add enough glue, and here I think it will be really okay to use double-sided tape if you want. I always like to use liquid glue because then I can wiggle it to its place. I can move the paper and align it perfectly. So you see I'm using the same papers from the same collection, so they all match with the colors and the fun patterns on them. Of course, you can use whatever papers you have in your stash. Maybe you want to give it as a gift to someone, so you match it to the occasion. Maybe it's a little girl, maybe it's a grandmother, grandfather. Okay, so let's finish covering everything. Next, we'll need to attach them together. So you cut little rectangles. You'll need 8. And again, you have all the measurements in the link in the description under the video. You fold all the little triangles in half. Just want to make sure that I like the order and the direction. Okay. So now you apply glue. First one's folded like this towards the outside, and then you align the two pieces together, leaving about 1/8 of an inch in between, and then attaching the little rectangle as a hinge in between those two pieces, and you align the fold line in the center of the 1/8 of an inch gap that you left in between the two pieces. I hope that makes sense. And then you do the exact same thing on the bottom. You apply glue to both sides and then attach your little piece. And then for the other two pieces, we're going to fold it in the other direction because it's going to be folded like an accordion. So this one is going to go on the inside. So you apply the glue on the inside and then attach it while the fold line is in between the two, and then I want to show you how it looks and what I meant by an accordion. So the hinges like this. So the hinges on the left are folded towards the inside, and the hinges on the right folded towards the outside. And now you do the exact same thing on the other side, but this time reverse the hinges, the direction of their fold, to make sure that it coordinates with the direction of the other side. Hope that makes sense. Now they don't look much like hinges now, so I actually want to make them look more like hinges. So what I'm going to do is punch out little tiny circles and attach them to 4 corners of each of the little rectangles. That will look like the head of a screw or nail, like hinges have. So they're very small, so I'm going to use tweezers to pick them up. These, put some little bit of glue, then attach them. Of course you can use real hinges if you have them, but I think they'll be a little bit too heavy, so that's why I used cardstock hinges, DIY cardstock hinges. So I'm going to add my little circles, and I'm going to show you how it looks when it's finished. So I've added those little circles on all the hinges on both sides, and now my project is ready. You can add photos to those swinging pieces, swinging squares. You can add photos on the bottom as well, so it can be a really nice display. Really hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon so you won't miss anything. And I will see you next time.